Okay, hey everybody. This is Grace. I'm on my way to get me something to eat for lunch. It's 2:31. You think I'm a little late? I do. So, okay. But anyway, I want to talk about something that things have been dawning on me lately. And, why do they take a while to dawn on me? That's kind of bothered me a little bit, but it's because I've had so much going on in my life. I have a life too. And, the things that are dawning on me are about, these Adams and his family. Yeah. That I had forgotten about. Oh, so long ago this happened and that happened. And that was said and that was done. Yeah, because I have a life too. And, I've already mentioned how they are and all this stuff. And I mentioned that I was making videos and stuff was dawning on me here and there. And I put them on a different channel. The channel that I put them on for, I used to always put those videos about his family on that channel. But I hardly ever used that channel after that. And both of my channels really about this stuff, they've kind of just died. So hardly anybody, they don't even send out, if any, those whatever that for other people to watch them. Yeah, I think some people call it shadow banned or something, but I don't know if that's all it. You can. I've done it before. You can get it back, but it takes a while. But anyway, so I've been putting those on there, that channel. I'm going to start putting them on this channel. I've already put one that explains it all. Anyway, my goodness, all that stuff. But anyway, one of the things the thing that dawned on me this morning, or was it yesterday? Like I said, I have a life. And but it happened. I actually looked it up because it was on that channel. I mentioned it. I had made a video about something that happened with his family members and put it on that channel back when it happened. Well, that was in February of, what year? 2017, I believe. Yeah, February. So, anyway, or was it 18? Anyway, it was 7 years ago. So, how years you gotta count them. Anyway, but yeah, and what it was so important to what is going on now. Okay, I've tried again to explain to Adam in a nice, very nice, polite kind of way, and it's true, that they need to realize, they need to stop thinking that everybody's just gonna, they come up with a plan of what they want to do, and everybody's just going to say, okay, everybody else involved, yeah, and then they need to see that there are other people involved, like me, and Adam's brother's girlfriend that lives with him. I don't think they ever got married, but his brother Dennis, who's a few months younger than I, and his girlfriend Winnie. Okay, they need to realize Winnie's involved. They need to realize I am involved. Seriously. Because the decisions they make about who's going to go to whose house and visit and all this stuff involves other people. Not just them. Not just their family. Like me and Winnie. And in this situation, it's more than me and Winnie. Oh, a big old Bubba truck, like, oh my gosh, what the crap? These two Bubba trucks right here. Oh my gosh, this is 30, I think it's 35. And they were going at least 60. I think they were racing one another. Came up, that one in front of me came up right behind me and almost hit me. Oh my goodness, there was 40 in here. Anyway, I'm going 41, so yikes. But anyway, ooh, a whole one more. But they were going about 60. So, my goodness. It's got to happen at least once. Okay. It's up here where it turns to 35 after this light. And the other street that goes parallel to this is 30 once it hits here. Yeah, that's kind of creepy. I mean, not creepy, but I don't know. Anyway. So where was I? Okay, I don't know if you saw the gas. It was $2.88. And gas prices, not just there, but all around here, they've been everywhere from like well, the Sam's was the cheapest, but that's, of course, that's Sam's. It's $2.37. That was the cheapest I've seen lately. Uh-oh. Okay, got past the school zone. Anyway. Oh my goodness. But what had happened in that video from way back then, let me just skip right to this, was, and I listened to it, I listened to part of it today. I'm going to listen to, what are you doing jaywalking like that? You crazy people? Crazy person, man. Oh my gosh. But anyway, what did happen? What in it? What was the scene that I kind of listened to? But it was that Adam. It was hard to understand me. But Adam had found out somehow, some way, that their sister Tara and their brother Jeff, he's the older brother, had been sitting around deciding what they were going to do and when they were going to do it. They were on vacation, and when they were going to, do that involved everybody. Involved Dennis, their younger brother, and Adam and me and Winnie. That they were sitting around making the decision of how they were going to do it, when they were going to do it, who was going to drive them there, and who was going to do this, that. I'm talking like hours, driving hours. Okay. That kind of driving them there. And that it would take a day or two out of their lives, the person who's going to drive them. And they weren't making the decision. They were making decisions for other people. This is a habit with his family. Seriously. 2 mornings ago, we had really bad storms here. Some say that some of them had to have been tornadoes, but the wind speed was 65 to 75 wind gusts, or speed. It was speed. You can see right in front of you, can't you? And I just went to this Long John Silver's. It's new. Well, there had been one, and they tore that down and put a new one. And they had some damage there. So yeah. Okay, where the heck was I? Now, so what was it about? That Adam it had dawned on him that about it, their sister, his and Dennis's sister and older brother, had been making plans and deciding for them and all involved. This was 7 years ago. And Adam, it dawned on him, and he told Dennis, his brother, and then he told Tara and Jeff, no, you don't go around making plans and that involve other people and tell them when they're going to do something and how they're going to do it for you to have your vacation. And you just don't make plans. You don't make decisions for other people. He told them. That's what I said in that video. I need to go back and listen to it again. I only listened to half of it, like I said. But he told them that. Flash forward 7 years in a month. It's March, And that's what they're doing. That's what Adam and Jeff are doing this time. Seriously. I've tried to tell Adam. Now, there he was back then, telling Jeff and Tara they can't do it. Here it is, 7 years in a month later, and he's doing it. They don't learn. You do not make decisions for other people. You do not decide what they're going to do with their lives. You don't just, I've got a list of things I want to talk about. You invade their privacy. You throw their world up in the air, because you think that, do this. And the way that they treat, oh my gosh, like I said, I got a list. But my goodness, people, really? How can somebody not see this? Their lives are not yours. Like his brother is a dentist. And Winnie, Dennis is, I call him Dennis, the dentist. Named him that years ago, but for my videos. And his girlfriend Winnie, Dennis, he works not in the home, but Winnie works in the home. So does you think that she needs, it's a weekday, that she needs somebody there? Did he ask her? I don't think he did. I don't think Dennis did. If it was okay with her. I have a feeling he didn't. Because that's not what they do. They don't ask. They tell. They do not ask. Like this whole thing with his niece, their niece, coming to stay with us, 2.5 years ago, because she was going to come to the country and go work on her master's, get her master's degree at a university, and she needed to stay with us at first. They didn't ask. They decided. Dennis and Tara decided without even talking about it with us. I was never consulted about any of it. Consulted? You know what I mean? Never. Okay? And just like this with the, Adam said the other day, this of a, I want to, just FYI, just something like FYI. My brother, Jeff, decided he was going to come here to visit, and then the rest of the story and all that. When was he asking me? Do you hear the asking me? Is it okay? They don't think like that. They do not think like that. Okay, so I think I covered that. But here, another thing that came to my mind recently with all this going on was they're going to go eventually make it down to where they go and see their aunt, the side of the family that they all had lived together, those cousins, and when they were growing up and all that, they had all lived in the same house. You could call it the same house. It's basically the way they have them. They're 3 stories. A 3-story house, and each house, it's like a duplex here, but turn the other way. To side by side. Not even a duplex, 3 floors, but you get it. And each floor has its own kitchen and all that. It's like an apartment house, but that's not what they call it. Anyway, and they all grew up together, and I think the middle floor was where they all had their meals, and they brought it all down or up, whichever one they were living on. You get it. And anyway, one of those cousins, I think all of the cousins are going to be there, except for one. She, maybe, I don't know. I asked him, he didn't answer, but he was like suspicious of me for some reason. I don't know. Seriously, when they're dealing with their family, they get suspicious of anybody. Another thing, but this one was that they were going to go. When they go to see this aunt, one of the cousins, they had visited, they had done something like this before. And they went to that cousin's house. I guess that's where they were going to stay. Well, that is where they were going to stay. Now, just think, they're not asking, they're telling. And then they went there, and that cousin and his wife, hello, he had a wife, he has a wife. I don't know how many years this was, how many years ago. But anyway, they they have a room, and they told them which room and which bathroom they could use and everything. And one of them went out and asked, do you have any more soap, bar soap? And that cousin went and got, he's my age, I think he's 3 days younger than me, or 3 days older. But anyway, he went and got an old, used, really thin, tiny piece and handed it to him. I was like, whoa, but I was also like, y'all deserved it. You see, you don't give somebody a chance. Maybe he was trying to tell him, look, this is what I'm going to give you, a sliver of soap that's been used. Because maybe something will make it dawn on them. You can't last minute tell somebody you're coming over and you're going to stay there. Because when they go somewhere, they don't tend to stay just hours. Like to have, the only thing that they would be drinking would be tea or coffee. You don't come over to have, tea, coffee, and a meal or something like that. They don't do that. They come over, they're going to stay, not even one night. It's going to be several nights. Okay, at least 2. And they haven't asked you, they're telling you. Not you, but you see what I'm saying. Yeah. Or it can be as much as years. Okay? Like his niece, she wasn't with us the whole time. She had her own campus apartment for a couple of those. She would just, decide that she wanted to come over for the weekend, and she'd call and say, I want to come over, and he'd say, okay. He wouldn't ask me. Hello, here I am. This interrupts my life. Hello. You see? No, they don't think that way. But maybe that cousin tried to tell them, I want to know what they're going to do this time. I mean, really, seriously, I want to know what they're going to do. What that cousin and his wife is going to do. Because they're interrupting people's lives. And they're not caring. And I think it's more as they just don't think. They just don't think about other people. They get involved and they start making the plans and all this stuff. They just think the other people are, they're okay with it. Or they don't even think about it. You get it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I got more I want to talk on another video. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.